They have the note.
From the heart of Kansas City, we bring you Buck and Bob Take on Chiefs Kingdom. I'm Bob.
I'm Buck.
And we aren't fancy analysts, but we have just as many bad takes.
A lot of
What's going on, Buck?
It's been a long day. It was a long week. I worked a lot of hours, but there's been a lot going on in Chiefs world too. It's hard to stay up to date for me because I've been working so many hours. I don't get to listen. I do listen to sports talk radio as much as I can, but like today, I was so far out. There was no radio coverage, no internet, nothing. So I just had to listen to what was, some music I saved on my phone. But yeah, we got a lot to cover today.
Yeah, we do. We got we got the rookie minicamp. We got latest news we covered in our news video, but we haven't really covered in like in the podcast. So we're gonna cover some of that news too. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm like totally out of here, like losing my train of thought. But we're gonna cover Graham Walker at minicamp. We're gonna cover who were standouts, which isn't the easiest thing to find.
So we're gonna cover Graham Walker. Do you want to tell the folks who that is?
No, we'll tell them. We'll tell them later.
Okay.
Unless you just want to.
Nope.
But yeah, first off, so how was your week?
How is my week?
How was your week?
How was my week? It was long. I got to spend a good lot of time with both my kids this weekend, but Sawyer, my 16-year-old, started a new job this weekend, and he worked 8 hours on Saturday, 8 hours on Sunday, which is more work than he's ever done in a week, helping out family and friends and stuff. So that was a big venture. That was really cool. But yeah, other than that, just, trying to stay up. Stay up to date with what the Chiefs are doing. How about you? What have you been doing?
So I had a weird happenstance encounter. I was at the dog park and ran into
so many different things happen to you at the dog park. This is ridiculous. I almost think it's like you're stalking certain people, and then you're like, "Hey, guess who I ran in at the dog park?" Yeah,
that's what it kind of feels like a little bit at times, but that's not what's going on. Yeah, so I'm out at the dog park, and I saw him before and said hi and said, thank you for everything you do. But, a few weeks ago, I saw Joe Blameyer, coach for the Kansas City Chiefs out there. He's the passing game coordinator, and he's been on with the Chiefs. He's going into his 9th year. So I just said, I was talking to him about his dog and looked up and realized it was him. So, but I didn't want to bother him. I just said thank you, shook his hand. And then, the other day I'm at the park and he's walking by and I was like, how about those Chiefs? And a buddy of mine at the park, said, Sean, did the chop at him and everything. And then we just left him alone. We didn't want to bother him. But then he comes up and he's like, so what'd you think about the draft? And I was like, oh, dude, I loved it. Best one since 2022. And we just started talking, and he stayed and talked with us for like 35 minutes. I mean, he was really cool. We talked about the Super Bowls. We talked about the past. We talked about the draft and all of that. Well, it was really cool.
You got to think, it's not like you ran into Andy Reid, who can't walk into any building in this city with probably in the country without getting recognized, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about this guy that, I mean, most people don't know his name, much less what he looks like. So just to get recognized is probably a really cool feeling for it. I mean, it would be for me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's how he started the conversation. He's like, "Man, we need more Chiefs fans like you guys." And then my buddy Sean goes, "Well, he has a podcast," and I was like, "Yeah." So I watch all of the press conferences, so I know a lot of you guys. And I gave him my card.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, you mean this?
Yeah, but I wasn't gonna do it. But I mean, my buddy helped me out.
As buddies, as good buddies do. That's
Yeah,
how we
yeah.
got started with Tamba.
Yep. So of course I gave him an extra card to give to Rick too, because I was like, I have Rick's email, but I lost his number, and I don't know if he remembers me or not. But you might give him this, he might get a chuckle because we used to hang out years back. So I don't know if he'll remember me, but it was really cool. He was such a nice dude, really knowledgeable. I feel like I impressed him a little bit with my knowledge of different things, but I don't know. I just
Did you
feel
bring up
like
the
that.
3-4 versus 4-3
Oh, I did.
linebackers?
I
Of
did.
course you did.
And in a different way, like I brought it up with like how people were complaining about day 2, saying we reached, and I was like, I tried to tell people that there's dozens of players that are on that list that don't fit the Chiefs' schemes.
Mhm.
So you have to think, was it on their list high, not the list
Right.
that all the so-called
Mel Kiper Jr.
experts
is looking at linebacker versus linebacker versus linebacker. He's not looking at the Chiefs scheme versus, some other Tampa Bay's, scheme. That, you know, Ashton uh, Gelati is probably not going to work out all that great. Although he can play both. He can play 4-3 and 3-4.
But that's the thing. Like, if you have a really high, that's the point that I made too. About, was like, for instance, if you had a really high rated 3-4 outside linebacker pass rusher, I mean, that guy is going to be really high on a 3-4 defense's list, and you're not even going to go for him because you could get something that's just a 4-3 guy a lot easier, and and a lot later. And he was like kind of perked up, but I feel like he came over to be nice, and then he stayed because he actually enjoyed the conversation. And then my dog played he basically played decoy for me because his kids were like, "Come on, Dad, come on, we need to go this way." And then my dog comes in, saves the day. Loki
like,
starts
come
playing
play with me.
them. Yeah, and they're just having a blast playing with Loki. I was like, yes, I get to talk to him for longer. This is so cool. Yeah, so I we ended the conversation with I'll be there at training camp a bunch, and he goes, "Oh, cool, I'll watch out for you." So maybe I'll get, I don't know, to
Hey, come
talk
on over to
to
the
him
game.
more.
Hang out on the sideline with us a little bit.
Oh yeah, that'd be
You
awesome.
want to talk
It?
to Patrick?
Yeah, come meet Patrick Mahomes. Huh? What? Okay. Yeah, that'd be horrible.
HD Chiefs fan said the way you know it is the real Andy Reid and not one of the lookalike Andys, which there's a lot in this city right now, is you make sure he's wearing his Skechers slip-ins, which, if he says it on a commercial, it's absolutely true. I wonder, you know what? When you go to that first training camp, try and get a close-up view of his shoes. Is he wearing Skechers for real?
I don't know.
He might be. I mean, they make some pretty comfy shoes. I've had them, but I had the cheap ones. They didn't last very long.
I'm wearing Skechers right now. Like, honestly, right now. And I've had them for 4 years, and my wife finally talked me into going to get some more, and so I'm gonna get new shoes finally.
Good for you, man. Good for you. I've got 2 pairs of shoes. Oh no, 3. I've got Nike shoes that I wear for work, and then I've got, when I'm not at work, I have my sandals, and then if it's muddy and I have to work outside, I've got some work boots. But those are actually my most comfortable, is my work boots.
Well, I was so happy that that I got to meet him, got to talk to him, and I told him about the podcast and how we don't pretend we know everything, but we keep learning things and becoming more and more a adept. Someday maybe we will be experts. We can only hope, right?
Let's work on it.
All right. Well, we should probably jump into the news roundup. So, coming soon, the NFL schedule will be released on May 14th, and we're waiting to see what our schedule is going to be. We can make predictions and stuff, the podcast the week that comes out, but we just wanted everybody to know that's coming. The Brazil game. A
Mhm.
report from the Athletics suggests that the Chiefs are a favorite to play the Chargers there in Week 1 in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So it's not confirmed,
So
but
when you say
it's
they're a favorite, you're talking about as far as
the
being
Chargers.
scheduled
Yeah, the Chargers
together.
are confirmed doing it, but
Oh, the Chiefs are not. Okay.
yeah, the Chiefs are most
So if it
likely going to be. It's what it
so if
sounds
it
like.
is them, would the Chiefs be the favorite?
I mean, I feel like yeah, and yeah, I feel like yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I
What
love the overseas games though, but
Andy Reid's record after a loss, right? And he's coming off a loss and a pretty bad loss. So I feel like whoever the Chiefs play in week 1 needs to be scared.
yeah, definitely because
And
yeah,
Mahomes is
and
coming out
Mahomes
with a
is
chip on his shoulder.
he's angry.
Kelsey's coming out with a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, it's gonna be oh man, with some of these young guys. That's man, people keep I wore my Buck and Bob shirt to the park this Saturday with Nora and my Chiefs hat, and I was carrying my Buck and Bob mug. And I was looking on my Buck and Bob phone case on my phone, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, "So you know this Buck and Bob?" I said, "Yeah, I'm Buck." He goes, "So you got a podcast?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What do you think about this draft?" And I'm like, I'm like so cautiously optimistic, but the more time goes on, and like I said, I listen to sports talk radio a lot, so I listen to a lot of the different personalities that have opinions, and they're not all Chiefs fans. And it's like the more they talk about it, the more excited I get about it. And man, I really think Brett Veach hit. I mean, it's impossible to say ahead of time. It really is. We don't know what's going to happen, but man, this could be great.
hmm It's, I mean, the more and more I look into it, and we're going to talk about it in rookie minicamp because I
Mhm.
realized what rookie minicamp is actually used for. So that's something I've realized, but I'll get into that when we get to that. But I mean, what do you? I'm kind of okay. So schedule wise,
Mhm.
what game do you want for sure?
What game do I want?
Against what opponent? Yeah.
Well, I mean, who are we? What is the deal? They could play anybody in the AFC at any point this season. Is that the deal? And then
No,
what
no,
there's
no.
one
Okay.
NFC division?
Because I wanted to know for sure how this worked. I knew partly how the schedules were put together, but I looked into it because I was like, well, stuff might have changed since they went to 17 game seasons, so I could actually tell you exactly how this works. So every year, 6 games uh, against your
Mhm.
divisional opponents. So 2 against the Raiders, 2 against
That's never
Chargers,
changed,
2 against
or not
Broncos.
forever.
Yeah. Then 4 games are against teams from a division in your conference. So they'll choose one from your conference. So you at least play uh like all of the teams every 3 years because you're always playing your conference on your AFC side, right? For the
Mhm.
Chiefs. So every 3 years it rotates, so it rotates every year, but you'll play the person you played in year 1, that whole division, you'll play them again 3
3
years
years later.
later.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and so I knew that about the NFC,
Well,
side of things,
yeah. So
but I
then
didn't know that about the AFC side.
I didn't either. I didn't either. So then, yeah, for the Chiefs, the NFC, you play 4 games from a division in the other conference, so NFC. So that's why we play the Cowboys, every 4 years, right?
Mhm.
And and so it's every 4 years because there's 4 divisions there, right? So that's the deal with that. Then you play 2 games against teams from the 2 remaining divisions that you're not playing that year in your conference. So in the AFC, we'll play 2 teams.
Outside of the division that we're not playing all the teams. So
Yeah.
what
So that's
what
why we play the
division?
Bills and
Okay.
everything every year, right? The Bills and Bengals. It's based on your rank from the prior year.
Okay. So which division out of the AFC are we playing this season?
Oh shit. I did look that up, but I didn't commit it to memory because I was because basically what I wanted the most was an Eagles rematch.
Oh,
And
yeah, I would love to see that.
so
Absolutely love to see
in
that.
the 16 game schedule, that was not possible. But in the 17 game schedule, the new 17th game is an additional game against a non-conference opponent from a division that the team is not scheduled to play. We are not scheduled to play the Eagles. So the
Do you think
Eagles could for sure be who we play for that 17th game. It doesn't mean it's week 17, but
okay, so if you go into the Eagles locker room and you've got a truth serum, because if you go into the Eagles locker room and they don't tackle you and rest you, first of all, and you say to any one of those players, would you like the Chiefs to be that game for you this year? Every single one of them would be like, hell yeah, let's go. But if you had a truth serum and you went in there, do you really think they want a piece of that? I think guys like Jalen Hurts probably would, because honestly, I think he's got an inflated ego. Uh, but some of the linemen, the guys that play in the trenches, do you think they want to play the Chiefs this year? I don't. I don't particularly think they do.
I
I don't
think
think they
that
would scare
I
away
don't.
from it,
Yeah, I don't.
but
I don't think they do. But I know I want it, and I'm sure Chiefs fans want it. I mean, we
oh
want
yeah.
redemption
Mhm.
bad.
Yeah, and we don't want to win 27-25. We want 42-3, Like we want good redemption.
Yep, yep. Well, then if you
Maybe
want to
worse.
read
Stanley
Stanley
Mooney.
Mooney's comment,
We have the third hardest schedule of any team this year, an absolute gauntlet of a season, 10 games against last year's playoff teams. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like at this point the Chiefs are just, I don't want to say getting screwed, because honestly, in the long run, I think it just makes us a better team. I don't think the Chiefs shy away from a strong schedule. They don't shy away from playing on Christmas. They don't shy away from playing overseas. It's all good for them. So, I mean, I think it just makes it a little more stressful for the fans.
yeah, maybe.
I'm not
But
looking forward to the Christmas game every year, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get it.
well, and also, I mean, you have to think like he's putting that 10 games, but we had 2 people in our division that were in the playoffs, and those teams,
Mhm.
Broncos and Chargers, and the Chargers got stronger. I haven't looked into the Broncos super hard how
I
their
think the
draft went.
Broncos, I don't know about their draft, but I think Bo Nix, I think they got him, I don't think he was supposed to be some star, but I think that they're finding, I see a little bit of Josh Allen in him. Honestly, he's probably, I say he's probably, if he bulked up just a little bit, he's just as tall. Maybe I need to look that up, but he's a big kid, and the way he throws his body around, they could be scary this year. They really could.
I think the Raiders are going to be scarier than people really even imagine, especially with Ashton Genty in there. And I mean,
Maybe.
they had probably one of the 5 worst coaches in the NFL last year, and they just perked up to one of the 10 best.
And
I
the
mean,
oldest? Is he the
I don't know.
oldest? I think
Is
he's
he
the
the
oldest.
oldest?
He's like 77, 78.
Boy, he looks good for that old, I
He's
have to say.
always kept that sideline excitement and the upbeat attitude. I think that's just part of who he is. And from the few clips that I've seen, he's still got that. He's still 100% all.
Yeah, and now he's got that freaking running back. Oh my gosh, I'm not looking I'm not looking forward to that. But King Jamie the Bad says, any bets? I say Chiefs at Bills on Christmas.
Oh, that would be awesome. But Chiefs at Eagles, or Eagles at Chiefs, whatever, would be an awesome Christmas game too.
Yeah, it
That
better
would.
be Bills at Chiefs. Come on, like
Did
we are
where did we
the.
play last
We
time that we
even
played
have a
them?
Hallmark movie about the Christmas game. We are the Christmas team.
um, no. Where did we play last when we played the Bills in the regular season? Where did we play them last season? It was here, wasn't it? I think it was.
Mm, was it? Did they beat us here? Boy, I don't remember.
We are away versus the Bills.
Oh,
King Jamie
King,
said
yeah,
we are
King
away.
Jamie. How do you know that? I looked up a whole bunch of how the schedules work, but is it because we were at home last year, so we can't be away for them? Because they haven't put out the actual schedule. Oh, but they have. Okay, so Stanley Moody says at Bills last regular season game. But do you know that? So why would it be at Bills again this year? Like, is there some place where it shows like who has the home games? There has to be. There has to be a place, isn't there? I didn't find that today. Crap. Okay. Well, sorry, I didn't prepare good for that. But we are still learning, man. Thank you for the thank you, chat, for the education.
Well, Stanley Moody said we are home against Bills this year. Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, but we did play. We played at Arrowhead.
Okay. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how
Well,
that
everybody
works. Who
seems to
gets the
agree.
away?
So let's just say that's what it is then.
Yeah. So
Officially.
yeah. Read what H. I trust HD Chiefs fan quite a bit. So
Yeah, we already know home and away, just not the dates. Okay. All
I'm
right.
sorry I did not find that to put that on there. But when the schedule comes out, we will definitely give like our predictions and stuff on that week's episode. Yeah, so we just don't have the dates. Okay, makes sense. It makes sense. All right, well, let's get into some roster moves. So, do you want to cover this first one, Buck? So I'm not talking too much. The
Mhm.
fifth year option on McDuffie and Karloftis.
Ooh, did we skip way ahead here? I think we did.
No, we
Yeah,
just white right past the breakdown of each team that we play during the season, how the schedule's made.
oh, right after that. Okay. On April 30th.
No, roster moves pre
Pretty
minicamp.
minicamp. Okay, yeah. All right. So the Chiefs pick up the fifth-year options for Trent McDuffie and George Karloftis. McDuffie signed a 4-year contract worth 13.99 million, so 14 million in 2022 is the number 21 selection in the first round of the NFL draft. He's scheduled to make 13.6 million in 2026 under that option. And Karloftis was the number 30 selection in the first round of the 2022 NFL draft. He signed a 4-year rookie deal worth 11.9 million. So he's actually slated to earn 15.2 million in 2026. So, and I know we've covered it in this podcast before, and we've covered it in some videos, but in case anybody didn't hear it, the 5th-year option actually has to be enabled before the preseason of their 4th year. So
Yep.
that's why they did that this year in the preseason, and it affects them in 2026. So, yeah.
So this was a no-brainer. They had to do it because I mean
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
so cheap for Trent McDuffie, right? Super cheap, but they could still get a long-term deal done with this on there. And maybe that's a bargaining chip to get the long, because the sooner we get either of them signed to a long-term deal, it's always back loaded cap wise. However, they still get paid the each year, but it's just back loaded in the cap almost always when they're structured. And the sooner we sign them, the less we have to sign them for total.
So do you think though that they're working on long-term deals? So hear me out on this. They signed him for the 5th-year option, which means that they've got them through 2026, right? So to me, that means they're not working on a long-term deal now, nor will they be doing that anytime this season. Because if they were going to do that, why bother, you know, taking on that 5th-year option? So to me, that means that maybe they're going to wait until next season to do that. Tell me why I'm wrong.
So this is why I think you might be wrong. Basically, now that we have the 5th-year option enabled on both of them, it could be used as a bargaining chip, because if we say give Trent McDuffie 30 mil a year, right? That means if we ink the deal before the 5th year starts, then we'll actually do better on the cap because we'll backload it, but he'll get 30 million instead of 14 million for next year. So it's kind of a bargaining chip to get him to sign his long-term contract before contracts go up. I'm worried about George Karlaftis because the Browns just completely screwed the defensive end and 3-4 outside linebackers contracts completely. I mean, they are screwed now because of that stupid Browns contract. So I don't know that they're working on Karlaftis right now, but word from everybody I know and trust says that the Chiefs really want to keep McDuffie, and they've planned on wanting to keep him for years now.
God, I hope that's true, but historically have not paid defensive backs.
Yeah, they don't.
New.
But the last one we paid was also the last one that we got in the first round, Eric Berry. So
yeah, he was.
That's,
we need to get a hold of Eric Berry and have him on the show.
Oh yeah, it'd be great, wouldn't it? I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
We got to put it out there in the ether.
So that's why it could be used as a bargaining chip, and it could just be getting both of them cheap for the next 5th year. I mean, but I'm a little worried about them re-signing Karlaftis. I think a lot of it would depend on this next year, but I could see them restructuring McDuffie's contract even prior to this season starting.
Yeah.
I could see that happening, and I don't know about George, but George seems like he's right on the precipice of becoming great, and so I would hate to lose him, and especially talking to Tama, finding out how hard he works, I would just like, he's come on way more. He's proved to me, when we first drafted him, I was like, well, this guy is going to be good, but he's never going to be great. And I feel like towards the end of last season, he showed that he might be on a path to be great.
You think it wasn't until the end of last season? I think his last season was so good. I don't want to say great because I think that word just gets thrown around, when you talk about it, athletes in general. But I think he was really, really good for most of the season. And then at the end, just kind of turned it up a notch, like in what was that movie, that spoof movie from the 70s about the rock band where they had an 11 on the dial. It was like, I don't know why all the other bands only use 10. That's why we put 11 on there. So now it's one better.
What is that movie? Oh my gosh. I know it.
It's right on the tip of my tongue, man.
Chat might know
I watched it like 6 months ago.
Oh, Yeah, see, I've got Goonies on the mind because I
Spinal
just
Tap. There it
rewatched
is.
that.
Thank you,
Final
King
Tap.
Jamie.
Yep. King
Thank
Jamie
you,
the
King
Mad.
Jamie. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Goonies recently, is what I watched.
I did
So,
too. I watched that probably once a year.
oh man, I hadn't
I love
watched it
that
in
movie.
years. Like, and I still knew all the quotes. So watching it again, I was just like, man, oh my god, I forgot about just the small parts that are in there. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's chock full of
oh
fun little one-liners. Yep.
yeah. Did you
Love
know?
that movie.
What's his name? Do you know who his mom is? The main Goonie. God, what's his name? He was also Samwise Gamgee, Lord of the Rings.
Oh. Oh, who played his mom? I've seen her
No.
before.
Who is his mom?
Oh, like in
Sean,
real
wait,
life?
is it Sean
Sean
Astin?
Astin.
That's
Yeah,
his
that's it.
name.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know his real life mom? You probably
Oh
don't.
no.
You probably won't even know her if I say the name.
Oh, come on, give me some credit.
Come on, anybody in chat know? Sloth love chunk. Chunk loves
Ruth,
sloth.
baby. Ruth,
Baby
baby.
Ruth. Hey, you guys.
You guys.
Oh man, yeah. So his mom is Patty Duke.
I absolutely know who Patty Duke is.
No, you
I'm
don't.
older than you. I
Yeah, but
absolutely,
the
yeah.
only
She
reason that
was
I know is because I watched Nick it that night because my dad wouldn't let me
no,
watch
it was
regular TV.
when I was a kid, it was on like when we had 4 channels. I still
It
grew
was
up
black
in
and
that.
white.
Yeah, they replayed it on channel 19 all the
Uh,
time. Yeah. So she did the original Parent Trap.
Did she? Patty Duke?
Yeah. Mhm.
Shut up. Okay, we're getting off subject here.
I know.
Did she
I feel
really?
like we're doing a pop culture podcast now.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you're gonna know who she
No, it
is.
says no. No. Cindy Sheldon created the first Parent Trap. She didn't play the girl.
Who's
No.
Sydney Sheldon?
I don't know. Patty Duke was she was on the Patty Duke
Patty
show.
Duke show? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, it says Duke's own series, The Patty Duke Show, created by Sydney Sheldon, especially for her in the wake of the Disney movie with Haley Mills as identical twins. Was Patty Duke's name Haley Mills?
Oh, I don't know. No, I just threw that out there. I could be completely wrong. I do that
Yeah,
sometimes.
I don't
People
know.
believe me.
I don't know. I think, yeah. Okay, well, this is way off topic, so
You watch. Okay, last thing. You watch on my birthday when we're out on Saturday night. There's going to be a lot of people there. I'm going to tell that story, and people will believe me. They won't look it up on Google like you do. They will believe me. Watch. Unbelievable.
uh yep. Steve Clark from Facebook says now he feels older.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to make you feel older. But
Here, you want to read this one, Buck?
yeah, HD Chiefs fan said my son went to college with Eric Berry and they played some pickup basketball together several times. They nicknamed my son White Chocolate because he was pretty good at basketball. That's a pretty cool story. That's
That's a
actually a
really
really
cool
cool story.
story. That's a
So
really cool
you've got it
story.
in with Eric Berry, is what you're saying, and that's how we're going to get him on the show. Thank you, HD Chiefs fan.
Dude, you just keep you're the guy that just keeps on giving HD.
Yeah.
Goodies. What do Goonies always say?
Goonies never die.
Goonies never die.
Goonies never die.
All right. Well, so let's move on. So on April 30th, the Chiefs cut 6 players from their 90-man roster to make room for minicamp standouts. Now, we probably, if we had been doing the podcast when these guys were brought on, we'd probably know who they were, but I didn't know who any of them were, so I didn't keep them on. All right,
Yeah,
I didn't put the names down, but this is pretty
it wasn't any
normal
of the
from what
draftees.
this is pretty normal for what Brett Veach does in my research prior to post game minicamp. It's very often that he signs them back after,
Yeah. Mhm.
once the rookie
He's
minicamp's over.
basically giving them an opportunity to get picked up by another team, and then if that doesn't happen, he'll sign a lot of them back to the practice squad.
Yep. Well, and right now we could have like 70 some players on our roster. And we have a lot. Like I can't wait till we do our I think we're gonna do it next week, guys. Our way too soon 53-man roster. And we were
Yeah,
not ready to do that last year, but I think this year we are ready,
yeah.
and I think we're gonna be right on most of
Mhm.
it. I
Oh, yeah,
really
we're gonna
feel good about it.
97% is what I'm predicting,
Yep,
which
yep,
means
yep,
we can get 1 or 2 guys wrong.
yep. And 50% of the time we get it right 100% of the time.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Oh man, so yeah, that should be cool. But let's move on to some rumors. You know, the thumbnail. We have to talk about it, or else we're clickbaiting with the thumbnail.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Let's bring it up. So on May 1st, 2025, reports speculated Buffalo Bills linebacker and former Broncos linebacker Von Miller, 36, could join the Chiefs for a fourth Super Bowl ring. Or I guess it would probably be his third Super Bowl ring.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
with three
So
different teams, I think.
How does Chiefs Kingdom feel about this? How do you guys in chat? How do you feel about this? You guys, a lot of you are longtime listeners, and so you probably already know our thoughts on this. But eh, I
Well, I mean,
mean,
maybe we should give just a little bit of stats. So last year for the Bills, he got 6 sacks, and he didn't play 5 games. And the games that he did play, I looked across them all. It was
mhm.
roughly about 33% a game. Sometimes it was like 39, sometimes it was like 29, but it was roughly a third of the defensive snaps per game. 5 games out and still got 6 sacks. I mean, the guy's still got gas.
Well, okay, if you would have not put those stats and asked me to just guess, just as a Chiefs fan that didn't watch Bills games except for 2 last year when they played the Chiefs, how many snaps percentage-wise Von Miller would have taken, I probably would have said between 25 to 35%.
You
He's
would have
an
been right.
aging he's dead. Well, I know I'm right. I mean, they did some reports on him. It's not like it's news to most Chiefs fans, honestly, that keep some kind of tabs on their team during the year. But he's definitely getting older. He's pretty much only coming out in third down situations. And honestly, as he gets older, it might only be third down and long situations where we know they're going to be passing.
Well, he takes some dead. So the Bills dropped him. They saved a little over 8 million in cap space, but at the same time, they took dead cap space for him, so they're paying him this year still some. Like they took some dead cap hit, but kind of like we did with Joe Tooney.
Mhm.
Like we took 10 million dead cap hit, but we got 14 million in cap space. So it is very, very possible that uh, he'll take a vet minimum deal. It's very possible. If that were the case, I'd take him in a second. But outside of a vet minimum deal, I don't want the cap hit.
I don't. I, man, I have some mixed thoughts on this. I think as far as if we just take Von Miller, the person, out of it, and we just look at stats and we just look at numbers as far as when he's available to play. King Jamie said Miller's always hurt because he wasn't used right. He was like Terrell Suggs, third and fourth down guy these days, which is exactly right. What he's going to do on the field, I have zero interest in him. He offers nothing to me as a fan watching him play on Sundays. What he would be now, if you bring Von Miller, the person, into the equation, Von Miller is a leader on the field. He's a leader on the sideline. Even though a lot of times announcers will say that, guys that can't stay in full time and play most of the snaps can't really be good leaders because They don't know. But when we're talking about somebody like Von Miller, who was there in his heyday, he was there for every single snap, and his body just can't take it anymore. If he's willing to be that guy, they and the Chiefs, that's what they look for in players. So just for that alone, even if he doesn't play at all, third and fourth downs, almost as a coach on the sidelines, I would love to take him on for that purpose.
He
But I
does have a
really,
little bit of a checkered past as far as off the field issues, though. I did see some stuff about that I didn't know. I actually
yeah,
didn't know,
I'm not aware of it.
but I didn't look into it too hard. But because it seems like he hasn't been in trouble for a while, but it did sound kind of gross.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, for a vet minimum deal, he hasn't been in trouble in a long time. I mean, I would take him, but I don't know though. We have so much talent, young
Yes.
talent that
Yes.
I don't know that I'd want to push somebody out. Like we're gonna have to do our too soon 53-man
Mhm.
roster next week, and then I'd actually have a better idea of if I'd actually want to keep him.
Yeah, and just to kind of give you, that's exactly where my head was going on also. And because we were kind of talking about that 53-man roster, I happen to have that list of who made the team last year, and they kept 5 linebackers. So to me, I feel the same way. It's almost like they would have to push out somebody either valuable that's still uh, that's honestly probably going to give us more production than Von Miller will, or one of the young guys who I love the potential of the young guys that we have on this linebacking core right now. So for
No, no,
me,
no. Defensive
oh,
end
defensive
rusher.
end, yeah,
Yeah, because yes,
yeah,
he's like our boy you know Tamba, like where he's played 4-3 end and 3-4 outside linebacker. So I mean he could be a mean asset, especially on fourth downs, because he could even drop into to coverage way better than most 4-3 DNs.
yeah. I mean, if they bring him in, it's not going to break my heart, but I'm just worried about the collateral damage that that might do to our future. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn,
I'm kind of
honestly,
torn too.
because I think it would be better for 2025, but for the Mahomes legacy, I almost don't want it.
See, I love this idea. Is if we went in to preseason and two DNs get hurt, then I'd be like, yeah, bring him, bring him, bring him, bring him, bring him. They're on IR. We get to keep them there, you know. But like, I'm not super. I just don't really want this, to be honest. But you know, vet minimum deal would be hard to look past just because it'd be so cheap. But that's where I'm at. I'll leave it at that. At the moment, I don't want it. I think he's going to go back to Buffalo. Both parties are still interested, supposedly. So
Yeah, I think if Buffalo is still interested in keeping him, I mean, if I'm him, I'd rather. I think in most people's mind, Buffalo Bills have almost as good a chance at winning a Super Bowl as the Chiefs. Now, in Kansas City, we know that's not true because in the postseason, Josh Allen can't beat Patrick Mahomes. So we have nothing to worry about. So we, from our knowledge, Von Miller has a much better chance at another ring with us.
you're way better than me, man. I worry every time.
I worry
Every
every
time we
time,
play him,
but
and it's always a
every
close
time we
game.
play him,
Yeah, I
I
think
mean, the
we've.
outcome is the outcome.
Yeah,
I'm not lying.
I feel like we've gotten a little lucky. We've gotten a little lucky, but yeah, I'm gonna say, let us know in the comments what you guys think we should be doing if we could get Vaughn. Do you want him? Would you pay $5 million for him, or would you rather a Vetman deal? Tell us what you think about Vaughn coming and being a Chief. It'd be weird. It'd be weird.
HD Chiefs fan says, "Oh, I don't like it because then a young possible stud doesn't get signed. Then you lose a long term stud for a 1 year dud." I
Well
mean, that,
played.
yeah,
Well
yeah,
played.
yeah. It's pretty much,
Wordsmith right over
yeah,
here.
absolutely. Let's play for the future.
Yeah, I'm kind of on that train. I mean, we got a lot of talent. It looks good. Um, okay, so did you know Mahomes is doing his normal thing, or had been doing prior to the rookie minicamp? Mahomes has been doing his little, you know, Texas workouts with the wideouts, and a lot of the wideouts were there. I mean, Marquise Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Juju Smith Schuster,
Juju was there.
Sky Moore. Yeah, yeah.
Sky Moore is like, please, just anything to keep me in this building one more day.
Oh man. Yeah, poor Sky. 500 yards in his career.
0 last season.
Yeah. I mean, he did have a really cool play in one Super Bowl.
King Jamie said, "I don't need a Bronco." Well, how about a Raider? Because that's what Gardner Minshew was.
Yeah, and we don't call them Broncos here. They are donkeys. Thank you, donkeys. Yeehaw. Yeehaw.
Sky Moore is an elite invite.
Oh yeah, but they're doing their whole thing. We don't have any, like, there's no film of it or anything, but they did talk about it. Juju was in a presser, and that's how I knew he was there, because they asked him if he was going to go join Mahomes up, down in Texas. He was like, "Oh, I'm actually here right now doing the interview from right here." So yeah, so it's
Minshew is Uncle Rico. That's awesome.
oh, explain
King
the
Jamie.
explain
Oh,
the to me.
from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, dude, I didn't really like that movie.
I didn't like it either, but I watched it. Uncle Rico was probably the
I
best part of it. The guy that was reliving his high school quarterback days. That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it once and barely remember it. It's probably a better movie than I remember. I probably was not paying attention enough and didn't get it, is most likely what it was. Because there's been movies I've watched that I did not get, that later on I'm like, dude, this is gold. How did I not get this when I was young? Yep. So okay, what else do we got here? So yeah, I mean, our receiving core is stronger than it ever has been, Buck. Like, how do you feel about barring injuries, right? Rashee Rice was on pace to be the best wideout in the NFL last year if he hadn't gotten injured. Like, what's your thoughts on how, like, do you think we actually, because Mahomes only threw for 2,159 yards last
I didn't
year.
want to read that
It
because I
also
didn't
took
believe it. I'm like,
56 sacks, the third most in the NFL.
that's horrible.
Do you think he breaks 3K, or do you think he actually goes past and breaks 4K?
The receivers weren't the problem last year. I mean, we did have some injury issues, but the receivers weren't the problem. The left tackle was the problem. And we got Jalen Moore to try and fill that problem. Josh Simmons. We're still hoping beyond hope that Kingsley might come around at some point. What's the other guy's name? The backup, Wanye Morris. Wanye Morris could still step in as so. Hopefully, we've got that left tackle spot sealed up, at least good. It doesn't need to be great. It just needs to be good. And then at that point, I think that the Chiefs have thrown so many darts at the wide receiver board, trying to overcompensate for that left tackle problem that we had. Now, yeah, I agree. I think we're absolutely stacked now.
Dude,
This
I
is
think
going to
we have a
be,
top 5 wide receiving crew
if
now.
Mahomes throws for 4,500 yards, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I'm not predicting that. That's a lot, to more than double your production from the previous year. But if that left tackle spot is sealed up, this could be a really, really fun season to watch.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, the best offseason move, in my opinion, was getting Jalen Moore, and then on top of it, getting Josh Simmons in the draft. And I still think Sua Matia is going to kill at the guard spot. So, I mean, I still think he has a chance to be a tackle and could possibly be the right tackle when Juwan Taylor leaves. You
Mhm.
know, not this year, but next year. I think it's very possible, and that's where he played college too. So, I think still has a chance to be a beast. I mean, he was one of the youngest guys in the draft, and he was a freak at the combine. So I'm still holding out hope that King Suamatia is still on the road to becoming a badass.
Yeah, so I can't remember who it was, but there was an analyst on the radio a couple of months ago talking about Kingsley and the reason that they took him out basically. They completely took him out for the season. And if you think back, they will usually push a guy or maybe move the line around to give the guy a little more comfortability on the line before they try him back out there, but they didn't do that. They just took him right out. And one of the reports, theories behind that is that, you know, you've got to be mentally tough to play this game at this level. You've got to be able to forget the last play because you're going to fail. Everybody fails at this level. You can't dominate every single play. So you have to be able to forget what happened last play to succeed on the next play. And there are thoughts that he may not be mentally able to do that yet. You know, that's something that you can learn. I believe that's a coachable feature. So I think that getting him some confidence built up at the tackle position is exactly what he needs. You
Yeah.
know, let him succeed a little bit before he fails, and then he knows how to handle it a little bit better.
Well, I still just think, it was bound to fail. They were really hoping. I mean, he hadn't played the left side, and I mean, even Jason Kelsey. I sound like a broken record, but Jason Kelsey said on New Heights podcast that he thought it was hilarious because every time he was in the Pro Bowl, it was all left tackles in the
Yeah.
Pro Bowl, and none of them usually could play right tackle for shit. So, it's you're using a completely different half of your body for completely different things, and so it just
Yep. Yeah,
I
that's
think it
funny.
was a real reach for the Chiefs to even put him in at that left tackle, and they were just praying he was a savant.
So HD Chiefs fan said this is an example of why I don't think Joe Cullen is a good O-line coach as far as developing and recognizing talent.
I mean, maybe not. I'll agree with you on tackles, but I mean, look at the guards and center stuff we've done here. But you could say maybe. I mean, you could make the argument that Trey Smith's progress and even oh shoot, our center uh
Creed.
Creed Creed Humphrey, yeah. You could possibly say that was Joe Tootie. It is possible that was a thing. Like that was that mentorship that actually grew that. So I don't know, but like he does have the interior line, he seems to do fine. It's just the tackles that and we put more on our tackles than most teams do with our zone blocking scheme. I mean, we put them on an island.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It might just be one of the hardest O lines to play tackle at. That could possibly be it. But I'm still learning. I could be wrong, dude. Like, tell me in the comments why I'm
I
wrong
will
or why I'm
say
right. I'd love it.
HD Chiefs fan seems to have a pretty good bead on a lot of different things. So it's definitely a good point to consider. I'm not going to argue against it. That's for sure.
Yep, yep. All right, well, let's transition to rookie minicamp, and I got a little video that I'm going to play here of Andy Reid. It's his press conference there, and then we're going to talk about it. I guess we could just tell you. So, just to preface it was a 3-day camp at the Chiefs facility. They hosted 87 players, 7 draft picks, 16 UDFAs, and then a ton of tryout players and veterans. So let's hear what Andy had to say about all of these guys, because a lot of these guys aren't even signed. They were just basically kind of like I mean, they got invited. It's not like a college walk-on, but it's similar to like what it is. A ton of people that aren't going to get a spot come in and play, and
They have a chance to work out with an NFL team.
yeah, and maybe get the eye of a scout somewhere on another team. I mean, it's a good opportunity for him. But let's hear what Andy had to say, and we'll be right back after that.
All right. Great to be back here and able to get on the practice field with some of our young guys, and they looked good yesterday. It's a good group. I think Brett and his gang have done a great job of bringing in some real good football players, and whether they were drafted or free agents, looks like a good crew. Just real quick, with B.J. Thompson, I think you saw where we waived him to NFI and designation there. So he is making progress, but just not quite there yet. But he's made great strides. And so in this day and age, the way football is, we had to do something there, and this is the route that we went. But it doesn't mean his career is over by any means. It's just where we're at today. Other than that, time's yours.
Coach, what's the most important thing some of these guys, like the draft picks, have to do for you this week? What do they have to show you?
Sure. Yeah, literally that. There's only, maybe 16 of them that, whether it's the 7 draft picks and 10 or so others that have been signed as free agents, college free agents. So the rest of the guys are just invites to this camp and as free agents. And that's a challenge for them to catch our eye, but they're going about it the right way, and it's literally that. I mean, how are you gonna make the catch? Are you gonna make the throw? Or are you gonna make the coverage adjustment that you need to make on the back end and defensive line? How you're it's all pass. So do you have rush ability in that? And linebackers, same way, coverage and kind of an understanding. Are you grasping the defensive part that we're asking you? So anyways, all of that is part of it. And that's what we look at. Yeah.
Your initial impressions of Jalen Royals and maybe how he can, I know it's a long way away, but how maybe he could fit in this year.
Yeah, you can see it's talent for sure. And he did a couple good things yesterday. We'll just see how he does today. We load him up again today. And they actually have a walkthrough, so it's very much like training camp. They have a walkthrough, and then they have the practice in the afternoon. So sometimes the second day can be a nice challenge for him with the overload part of it. So.
With Josh Simmons, what's kind of the first impressions of him now that you've gotten him on the field, and is he where you expected physically?
Yeah, so Josh is doing mostly the individual work. We try to keep him out of the team stuff if we're going against a defense. So just taking it slow here. We're just kind of getting a feel where he's at with this. So he had a kind of a heavy travel schedule during the 30 visit thing. So just make sure that thing's strong and going. But he looks like he's got some talent there, Matt. Doggone it. That's a good thing, right? So for what we can do, that's a plus.
Andy, his injury aside, how will you, and I realize this is a months-long process of evaluation for the season start, but how will you just evaluate his preparedness to play?
Yeah, it looks like he's moving around good. He's right on that kind of that where he just needs a little bit more time, but he's moving around well. I was surprised on how well he was doing out there moving. Yeah, and he looks like he's comfortable with it. So.
Andy, Rashard Smith, if you had a guy in recent years who has that kind of skill set and had that kind of skill set, anybody he reminds you of in that regard?
I probably haven't seen enough of him there. I know he looks like some of the backs have that low center of gravity that can kind of move and at a lower, where they can drop their weight a little bit. He looks like he has that. Now, nobody's hit him either, so it's be a little different story there, but he looks like he has good hands, too.
Jarek McKinnon, you see any of that at all?
A little different run style than Jarek. Yeah, a little different run style. Jarek was a little more upright. I'm not sure who I would compare it to, but I know he looks like he has talent. He can catch the football. So.
Andy, with it being a non-contact practice, when you got 3 drafted guys and that are linemen, how do you try to assess them through these practices? Are you looking for their study habits or anything? What do you see out as a coach?
Yeah, you get a little idea on pass rush for the 2 defensive guys, and again, we're keeping the other kid out of the Simmons out of the contact part of it, so or other team stuff. But the defensive linemen look like they have high motors and they've got good quickness. And it looks like good lower body core strength, which is pretty important for getting banged around in there.
Coach, I've been asking the rookies how they chose their numbers and what they mean to them. You wore 64, is that right?
I did.
BYU? How did you end up with 64? What did it mean to you?
Yeah, so that was one of the numbers that was available. Jerry Kramer wore it, so I snuck it. I had read instant replay, I think, by that time.
All right.
I was always a fan of his. So
Did
that's
you
why.
retire? 64, or some kids still wearing them?
No, they're still wearing it.
All right. So, yeah. So, HG Chiefs fan puts up, I will say I had no idea that rookie minicamp had such a large amount of participants until I saw the roster. Yeah, I didn't either. I had never seen anything like I had never paid attention to rookie minicamp until after it was over.
Yeah, I knew there was a rookie mini camp, and I knew that they had a boatload of guys because I listened to sports talk radio all the time. So I was listening, but yeah, I didn't know, that they're cutting guys all the time. I didn't know that, like
There were
when,
walk-ons and
yeah,
stuff like
I
that.
wasn't paying attention to any of them. I wasn't paying attention to the draftees. I really, maybe the first rounder, maybe the second rounder, if they were talking about him a lot, then I might, maybe root for the guy. But yeah, I wasn't paying attention before like I am now. So it's a whole different ball game.
It's super cool getting to learn all of this.
You know what I heard in that clip that I absolutely love, that I don't want to say that it's not typical Andy Reid, but you don't hear a lot of truth, like real truth in these press conferences. And Andy Reid said it plain as day. He said, these guys are being brought in here undrafted, and they're trying to catch our attention, and it's a hard thing to do because they're probably all going to get cut. He said it.
Yep.
And it was like a breath of fresh air. I was like, all right, well, maybe I can believe some of the other stuff he's saying then. Which, he doesn't lie. He just kind of like blows smoke out there, and he's like, good luck finding anything in that,
Yeah, Veach gives a lot of hints and actually messes up at times, like we saw at his press conference where he messed up and basically said he was taking Josh, first round right before the draft. But HC Chiefs fan says it best.
Big Red is the master of saying a lot without saying anything. Yep.
So true. It's so true. And
Hallelujah.
the greats do that, but he's definitely, you can see his excitement. That's something I've learned. You can see if Andy Reid's excited about something or if he's not. That he can't.
Yeah, he can't hide that at all. Yeah, his heart gets racing. It's crazy. It's amazing how well composed he is behind the podium, talking to 100 reporters, knowing that the media's in there, and he's literally talking to millions of people, and it doesn't skip a beat. But yep, when he's excited about a player and he's trying to keep it secret, he's not. He's like a 3-year-old at Christmas, trying to not tell his dad what he got him.
Yep. Well, why don't you introduce us to one of the people at that tryout in Graham Walker?
Yeah, so Graham Walker, we kind of talked about him a little bit. He is actually Patrick Mahomes' half brother. So he's a tight end. He's an undrafted tight end, earned a minicamp invite despite going undrafted. So he's actually one of 87 attendees, and he's got a chance to join Travis Kelce's tight end group if he's able to shine. Now, he is undrafted, and most of those guys are really just making tape for other teams. But
Could it be a little bit of nepotism that gets him on the roster, or
I
at
mean,
least the practice squad?
it had to be nepotism to get him here. I mean, why wouldn't they
I
give the
mean,
kid a shot? He's
don't think it-
undrafted,
I
and
don't
he
think
had
it's nepotism though, because I mean, some of these guys we'll talk about at the end here. I mean, that came. I mean, 87 people came. You know, it was. I think anybody could come if he makes the team. Is that nepotism?
no. Making it to the rookie minicamp could be nepotism. I don't think that they would invite him if they didn't think he had any chance whatsoever. But they did invite Garrick Dieter, Patrick Mahomes' best friend. I mean, he was. I mean, he's on the radio all the time, and I kind of like the guy. He's cocky as hell, but I really kind of like him. So I don't want to badmouth him, but he wasn't really good. I mean, he wasn't. He was on the practice squad, and he was on the sidelines all the time because he was Mahomes' best friend, and he still hangs out with Mahomes all the time. Believe me, he brags about it daily. But he he got an invite because of who he was to Patrick Mahomes. So that can absolutely happen. Will he make the 53 man because of that? Not a chance in hell. No way.
What?
Absolutely not.
Like, do you know what his stats in college were? I didn't look this part
His
up.
stats and his performance during the the mini camps and the
No,
training
in
camp.
college. In college.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, that could earn him a spot, but it will have nothing to do with what's running through his veins. Nothing.
But you don't. Does anybody in chat know what he did in college? I didn't look this. I didn't look this part up. I should have probably, but I didn't.
So last year, I will say that last year they only kept 4 tight ends, and that was Travis Kelce, Jared Wiley, Peyton Hendershot, and Noah Gray. Of those 4, we still have 3. So we'll have to see what happens in the tight end room and what other kind of undrafted free agents. Maybe if it comes down to this guy is shining and Graham Walker is shining, they're both kind of together and they're doing the same thing and they're leading all the other tight end prospects. And then it comes down to that. Okay, I would take that. But I think if there's any lean towards the other guy over Graham Walker as far as ability and ceiling, then they take the other guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you not agree?
No, I definitely do.
Okay.
It's interesting that he's there. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to see him play. Unfortunately, there's not a whole ton of footage. Like they can't even show the 7-on-7. It's illegal. So the only footage you could find is some drills, So it's kind of hard to tell. Like when I'm at rookie minicamp next, when it starts, I'll have a lot more insight on who I think actually could make the team. But I mean, will he even make that minicamp roster? That's the thing. Like I don't even know if he'll make that. I mean, we have a lot. I mean, we have the tight end, the UDFA tight end we brought in. One of them was the number 11th tight end in the draft. So I don't know if this will work, but I did look up a picture of him. He does look like Pat. I mean, he looks like a beefier version of him, but he does. You can definitely see they are family.
HD Chiefs fan said Mel Kiper had him as a top 5 tight end. Not really. Just seems like someone that Mel would love. Funny. Nice.
And then BJ Thompson, so sorry for him. He was the guy that suffered a seizure and then went into cardiac arrest at that last year's training camp. It was very scary. And so hopefully, Andy talked about that at the very start. Hopefully that's not going to hurt him. But Andy also talked about Josh Simmons and the rehab progress. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So He was a first round pick, obviously. I know you hate that word, but it did just happen. And I think most of the people listening right now know that already. So I think it's obvious in this situation. Out of Ohio State, he's an offensive tackle, 32nd overall pick. The Chiefs actually traded down to get him. Josh Simmons is rehabbing a patellar tendon, and they're actually targeting him for training camp to start. Simmons did tell reporters on May 4th that he's getting his toes wet and he's following the trainer's plans. The Chiefs vetted, the medical staff vetted his knee pre-draft, and they expect 100% recovery. So he said the playbook's not as complex as he expected, and that's thanks to Ohio State's pro-style offense.
Yeah. What is it? Chip Kelly is
Yeah,
the
Chip Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a huge boon for any player you get from Ohio State. Is just the fact that they run a pro offense, which
Yeah,
is
and he was very quick to, because I heard that clip, and he was very quick to say, it's not that the Chiefs is easy, it's just Chip Kelly has a very complex system, so there's a lot to learn. So I'm used to that.
Yeah, so he speaks well,
He
man.
does, yeah.
I mean,
It was a
he
good interview.
speaks well.
He was
Honestly,
calm and put together, and he put his thoughts together well. Yeah, it was
yeah,
great.
and I think all of the Chiefs draftees do that well. And I thought that from the initial pressers, I will say, Omar Norman-Lott did not sound impressive to me on his first presser with the Chiefs when he was at the mall on his phone. But I'll get into it when we talk about him. He did sound very impressive and very charismatic in his interview after rookie minicamp.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost like a different person. I mean, it was interesting for me to see. So now I can say I feel all of our draft picks are well spoken and well educated. I mean, they just seem like they know what they're doing, and those are coachable people, and that's what I'm so like. I don't want to hear someone like Tyreek Hill coming in here spouting everything, barely making sense. Like I want guys like this that are well spoken and are very educated. Then that they can learn, they
In
can be
Madden,
coached.
the stat would be awareness, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Now we
Which
know
I
what
still
that's
don't know what that stat does.
that's our best guess at what that could mean, could translate to.
Oh man. But yeah, so I think I think Josh is interesting because we thought for sure he'd be like a red shirt, maybe shows up halfway through the season spelling people out. I mean, Josh could be playing.
He could be starting day one,
which is weird because who would he start guard over Suamataia? Would he start left tackle over Jalen Moore? Would Jalen Moore move over to right tackle? Would Jawan Taylor be benched? Like, I mean, what? I don't even know.
I think with Josh Simmons, you don't give him any opportunity outside of left tackle. If he's not 100% ready for left tackle on day one, then he doesn't start day one, and he waits until he's ready for that. When you've got Jalen Moore, who at this point is the guy for this year. That's why he was brought to this team.
15 million.
He was to be that guy this year. So there is zero reason to rush this. Let's just give it time. The rest of the line is taken care of. Just let Jalen Moore do his thing. Just be good. Maybe he'll be great, but just be good. And this will be an awesome season. When Josh Simmons is ready for that, then maybe we can find another spot for Jalen Moore to.
Well, I think
maybe he can just play backup.
I think Andy Reid is going to use it as a tool to really motivate the rest of the offensive line, because it sounds like he's going to be ready for training camp. So if that's the case, I think Andy gives competition, and I think Andy, if he sees that it's just way better, could definitely put Josh in and bench somebody who's making a lot of money. I mean, we're not like, our ownership is not like most ownerships. I mean, if Clark would be like, okay, if that's what you think, Andy, then I'm okay with it, Whereas other owners would be like, I can't let someone see that we paid this, and don't play them.
Yeah,
So
well, that's why we're lucky here in Kansas
we
City.
are so lucky here in Kansas City. We have, I mean, it's crazy. Just so lucky, so lucky. I think the change that Clark Hunt made when he came in was so big. So he changed it. So Lamar Hunt, when he was here, always had it that the GM was under him, and then the head coach was under the GM. The way Clark Hunt changed it when he came in is he made it so the coach and the GM are under him and report directly to him, and then work together as a team rather than one of them being a subordinate, right? And I think that's been huge that he's so involved. And I think, could be wrong, but I think Lamar Hunt kind of, in his later years, just kind of, the game passed him by. I mean, that's probably what happened.
There were accusations that Carl Peterson was running things, and he was running things, but there was a lot of blame here in Kansas City that Lamar was allowing Carl to take over everything, and Carl was only worried about filling seats, which meant money in his pocket, and well, in the team's pocket altogether. I don't think Carl Peterson was a selfish guy. I just don't think he was great at running a football team. He was good at making money. I mean, he kept the Chiefs in the chase most of the years that he was around. But we are in much better, and there were a couple way worse ones after Carl. I mean, we weren't making money and we weren't winning. So like it was rough for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah, Scott Pioli, and
Pioli was a dark time.
who was the other one?
Boy,
Anyway,
I feel like
doesn't matter. Who cares?
I can't
Suck.
think
Let's
of it.
not remember them.
Yeah.
But Brett Veach, when I remember the talk when Brett Veach took over, that he was Andy Reid's pick. He was Andy Reid's guy. He was Andy Reid's assistant before that, or maybe not officially assistant. I don't know what his title was, but he worked for Andy Reid, and he was literally going in to be a yes man for Andy Reid so that Andy Reid could run this team. It's really, really hard to tell what goes on behind the doors, the office doors, in the Kansas City Chiefs organization. But from what we see, I am convinced that Brett Veach 1000% deserves everything that he's done. Has he made mistakes? Absolutely. But he hits on such a higher percentage, such a like it's not even in the same ballpark percentage as your average GM, as most of the GMs.
And he's willing to.
He works with Andy Reid closely, but he does a lot for this team.
And he's also willing to. We saw in his presser that we did the whole show on it. We saw him saying, he's not afraid to say, hey, I've been working on this and getting better at this, and thanks to my staff, they've helped me understand this. So, that's kind of a huge thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, H2 Chiefs fan had a comment here.
It seems that that maybe Clark may have said that losing 2 Super Bowls with O-line being a massive factor, that we're going to spend money for starters and backups.
Maybe.
I mean, that was the reason for this last Super Bowl loss, and it probably was for the other one. I mean, it's been a problem trying to find a replacement for Orlando Brown. I almost said Orlando Bloom. Orlando Brown. It's been a challenge to replace him. It has. And I think the Chiefs have done the best that they could without really going out there and grabbing the guy. And this time they went out. I mean, it was a steal. If he wouldn't have been injured, there's no chance the Chiefs would have got him. So it was a reach. But I think the Chiefs went through the due process. And
I mean, you're speaking facts about Orlando Bloom too. I mean,
Brown.
you're
Orlando Brown.
no, you're speaking facts about he's been very hard for the Lord of the Rings IP to replace, in their current series. They're trying to make a new Legolas, but they're just kind of failing.
That was completely intended.
All right, well let's talk about Jalen Royals was a rookie standout. Do you want to give us anything on him? Because
Yeah, so he
a
was
lot of people are real excited about him.
I am 5th round pick, which I'm even in the past when I wasn't paying attention, I would not know who the 5th round pick was. But he was actually picked at number 160. He dazzled on May 3rd, beating undrafted free agent cornerback Melvin Smith Jr. in drills, which he's undrafted, but I mean, they're both vying for team uh, to find a team. But Royals, who models his game after Devontae Adams and AJ Brown, two great wide receivers,
Well,
said he
just to clarify, he said those are the guys he watches. I don't know if he looks like them, but
you can model your game after somebody and still not end up looking like them, having a different running style, like Andy Reid said with Jared McKinnon. It was a little bit of a different running style, but
yep.
Yeah, so Royals said he felt very anxious, but also very happy at camp, and I mean he's projected to compete for snaps after we lost DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah,
But I say that, and it's almost like an afterthought. I mean, it was awesome to have him. It didn't really pan out, but I mean, he was a great receiver.
Yeah,
He didn't hurt the team at all. I think his impact on this team was still positive.
I mean,
even though it wasn't on the
Worthy
field.
even said how huge he was for him.
Yep.
And we had Dread Watch. I mean, it was a segment on every week's podcast where we were like, "What's the hair going to be like?
What kind of hair is he going to do?"
Oh, it's going to be cool, whatever it is, because he always did something different. I loved that. So
yep, that was fun.
Yeah. So it's
Maybe
bummer because
Worthy-
all of our guys' hair got cut. Like Rashee Rice is the only wideout that still has his hair.
Oh, really? Worthy cut his hair?
Worthy cut his hair. Hollywood Brown cut his hair. Mahomes cut his hair. I mean,
I do not like that new cut.
Yeah, I wish you'd do more of more of a fade straight across instead of having that, that little hump in the back. You know what I'm talking about?
If you remember back when he got drafted, he had the same hairdo, but it was really short. It really was short. And if he just went back to that, first of all, I didn't have a
mohawk though.
I did not have a problem with his hair whatsoever. I did not see it as some crazy, young guy haircut. I think he looked good. He did. I mean, he almost did make the hairstyle. I mean, I know he didn't make the mohawk, but that version of it became very popular after Mahomes first Super Bowl.
But he talked about it. He talked about it even on the Netflix series Quarterback. He said, like, I don't want to be a dad with this hair. Like he felt it was something he was going to do to grow up, and he wanted to do it for 2 years. But after they won that first Super Bowl, that second Super Bowl, he didn't want to cut it to like mess things up. So when they were going into the Super Bowl for the three-peat, he told the guys, I'm cutting the hair after whether we win or not. So he was ready to cut that hair.
And to clarify, it's not the fact that he cut his hair that I don't like. I get that. I just don't like the new hairdo at all. Just not comfortable with it. It doesn't make me feel good. Luckily, when he's on the field, we won't see it.
Yeah, he just has to have the fade go straight back. He's got that weird circle thing on the back of his head. Like,
oh, you mean it just he just cuts it around his ears so it goes down, so it's long all the way back like a mohawk.
No, just like my haircut. Like the fade goes up and then goes straight back.
Right. No, I understand what you want. I'm saying, but right now he has it just.
He has basically that weird, like think a guy that's bald on just the top of his head. Like that's what he's got. He's got like a circle on the back of his head. Like when the fade goes up high to his, to the top of his hairline, before it gets to the top of his head, then it goes back, then it drops down in a circle, and it
around his
comes
ear.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just goes straight back, just like basically a military cut, a military
Or
fade.
and
Like that would look
maybe
cool.
yeah, a military fade, but he doesn't even need to go that short. He could, but he could keep it a little bit longer. I mean, his hair is naturally curly and it's really cool, honestly, to watch
It
him
is.
jog. It's fun to watch, you
Yep.
know?
Yep, it is cool.
It's
But
like when a beautiful woman runs by and you like the bounce, right? I mean, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch Mahomes' hair.
I don't do that for fear of getting smacked by
Well,
my
I
wife.
don't dare, and that's why I wear sunglasses. Hello. Hey, check it out.
Oh.
I'm looking at you. If I was wearing sunglasses, you couldn't tell.
Oh man. Well, what does HTC's fan says? What is known to us really old farts as a standard boy cut? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
like a bowl cut.
Yep.
I just think I don't know. I think he could definitely just do it more military style, and it would look better. I mean, so many people pull off that hairstyle. So I think Mahomes could. I think the little loop in the back is just a little too much. Yeah, I don't know. All right, but we're talking about his hair way too much because we got on a hair watch.
We're not even supposed to be talking about
Do
Mahomes
you
right now.
think Jalen Royals starts
No.
anytime this season?
I mean, so Rashee Rice could still potentially have a suspension. We also don't know what's
But
going to
most
happen.
likely won't, because
you think it's most likely at this point?
Well, his lawyer is a state senator and basically it can't happen for 6 months because of something going on in the government. So basically it's on hold for at least 6 months,
Another
meaning
year?
it's
Another
not
season?
going to be scheduled for at least 6 months. So it's probably next year is going to be.
So let's say he doesn't get suspended. What's the likelihood that the Chiefs suffers 0 injuries at the wide receiver position after being so unlucky?
Take injuries out. Take injuries out, because of course he will start if injuries start to pile up. So take injuries out.
I don't think he's going to outperform. I don't think he's going to outperform Worthy. I don't think he's going to outperform Rice. I don't think he's going to outperform Moore. I don't think he's going to outperform Brown. I'm just kidding with Moore.
Well,
so no, I don't think he's going to earn a starting position. Will he play? I think so. I do. I really do. I think he'll probably play early.
See, now I have to think, what constitutes a wide receiver starter? Is it
I think
just
there's just
is it X, Y, and slot, and that's your starting wideouts, or is it just X and Y?
I've always wondered that. Is it just the first play that they come out with? So if they come out with 5 wide, no tight ends, then Travis Kelce doesn't get a start? I don't know.
I'm not sure how that works with wideouts. I know how it works with offensive line, defensive line in the 4-3 or the 3-4. I know how it works with. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Like, let us know in the comments, guys, because I could see. Oh, hey, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say HD Chiefs fan said Royals is most likely to be a returner. I think so too. I mean, I really do, but nobody goes into the NFL wanting to be the returner. They want to be the wide receiver or the running back, whatever their position is. They want to play that position. So
but would
that's
that be
what
a
he's going to be
starter?
gunning for.
If he was the starting returner, would that be a starter?
I think, yeah, that's a starter.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's one of the 50. Yeah, he's one of the 53, isn't he?
Well, I mean, we don't know. The 53 hasn't been done yet.
No. I'm just looking at last year's 53, and I'm just looking for like return specialist or whatever, and there's none. It's all wide receivers, tight ends, all listed by the position. So it's going to be somebody at another position.
How many wide receivers are listed as starters?
Last year there were 8.
Okay, that can't be right because.
No. Listed as starters. I'm sorry, just that were on the 53. Man, my bad.
No, they were on the roster because the list you have, Justin Ross was never on the actual 53-man roster. He was on the practice squad. So
I got that off the Chiefs website.
Yeah, but that's just their active roster. But if you counted them, it's more than than 53 because it counts practice squad.
Well, this one, yeah, this is just a list of 54 because it's the 53 man plus the international player.
Yeah, but yeah, Justin Ross was never on the 53 man roster last year. He was only on the practice squad.
All right.
It could have been the year before he could have been on, but I believe we went with 6 wideouts last year on the 53 man roster. But
Well, then this
I'll
list means
say
nothing.
like if like he's definitely going to play in 4 wide situations. I think I think he'll play in like 4 wide, but I don't know how much 4 wide we're really going to run. So yeah, so I don't know. So I don't know, but I mean, HC Chiefs fan points out, Dante Hall, Tyreek Hill, Dexter Cluster were all, became starting wide receiver after just being a returner. So yeah, I mean, he has a chance, but I don't know what starter means, but I don't think he's one of our top 3 wideouts unless injury happens. Let's just say that. How about that?
Yep, I agree. I mean, I think he'll play
we'll go with.
this season. I just don't think that he'll start a wide receiver unless there's something crazy happens.
All right, well, tell us about Ashton Gelati, edge from Louisiana.
Ashton Gelati. He was a 3rd round pick, number 97. He showed relentless energy, and he is currently rooming with defensive tackle Norman-Lott.
And neither of them snore. I found this out from the pressers.
Oh, I only heard the Norman-Lott side of that, and he said Gelati doesn't.
Yep. And then Gelati came back afterwards and said, and they told him, and he goes, "Well, I slept on my side for a reason." I was like, what a team player right there.
Know,
what a team player.
He's definitely making the 53, man. Yeah. No, analysts predict that he could notch 15 pressures as a rookie, potentially overtaking defensive end Mike Dana. So he attended the 2024 Kentucky Derby, and he met Travis Kelce, and he was really excited about it too.
I bet. Yeah,
he's probably not going to remember who I was, but we were all asking him questions.
I mean, and he's a freaking a collegiate academic All-American. I mean, that's rare. Like, this kid's smart.
He's got a very unique background and upbringing. So his mother was a cross-training coach, and that's his legs are crazy strong because of that. So he didn't get a whole lot of upper body strength, but his father was in the Marines. So he's got discipline, so this kid he's smart. He knows how to come in here and play his role and be humble and learn from the guys that came before him. Well, we know that he's friends with Karlaftis. They played at the same college.
Well, they practiced at the same college. I don't know if they played. I don't know if they ever played together. I'm not sure.
Okay,
about that.
Well, they're buddies, and we know that
definitely buddies. Because Karlaftis came in at 22. So I think Ashton Gelati might have been like a red shirt, like in his last year, maybe, or something like that. But I don't know for sure. Let us know in the comments, guys.
But we know that Tamba has at least talked to George Karlaftis. So, Tamba may reach out to this young guy. Although Tamba's not a real like in your face kind of guy. He's almost like the kind of guy that'll reach out to Andy and be like, "Hey man, if you want me to talk to these guys, just, let me know. I'm offering. I'm here." And then he just lays back and lets it happen,
Yep. Very, very, very chill. Well,
I miss Tamba. I do. I miss him.
I'm excited about this pick. A lot of people are down on this pick, but I am excited about it. And I really think the guy's brains are just going to make him so coachable. So
I think that the Chiefs are preparing for a potential future without George Karlaftis. This could be the heir apparent to George Karlaftis rather than his teammate. And that's scary. That is scary to me because I love George. And like you said earlier, that this could be a breakout season for him after pretty good season last year.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. You want to read what I think
Yeah.
H, you Chiefs fan, has a point?
Yeah, Gelati, in my opinion, has to be an immediate fan favorite between having an uncle that is a lifelong Chiefs fan. Oh, yeah, that's an awesome story, too. His work with veterans and his complete attitude so far. Yeah. So his uncle, he was wearing in his initial interview or whatever that he had some like what's the word? Not authentic, some old school Chiefs gear, some stuff from like the 80s and 90s, right? A vintage was the word I was looking for, some old school stuff. And they were asking him about it. He's like, man, as soon as I got drafted, my uncle pulled up. He's a lifelong Chiefs fan. He had all his gear in his car, and he's like, here, you're wearing this, and you're wearing this, and this is gonna make you cool in Kansas City. And he was right.
Yep.
But yeah,
and
his
for
attitude,
him to know that after him being taken, like, I mean, he was taken in the 3rd round. So it's not like, he didn't have all this different gear,
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't go out and buy a bunch of Chiefs gear knowing that he would be drafted.
Yeah,
What was
like,
it,
and he didn't
97?
have like 7 different teams gear like ready for that. Like, it was just his uncle came over and knew that he was going to be a Chief, and that's cool. That's cool.
That's
But
awesome.
let's talk about Omar Norman-Lott. I was not impressed with his initial presser. Sorry. I got this thing in my mouth, this retainer thing, guys, and it's really hard not to talk without a lisp. So I'm learning how to use my tongue different. But just letting you know, that's why the lisp comes out at times. It'll be gone in 5 months. I can tell you that. But yeah, so Omar Norman-Lott, he was the one I was least impressed with his presser right after being drafted. But man, his presser that he had at rookie minicamp was so good. So he chose the number 55, and they asked him why he chose 55. He's like, well, when I went to college, I mean, they just gave me number 55, and I didn't think much of it. I was just going out there, just trying to play, just trying to make the team, and then I got my first sack, and I just put my hands up wide, fingers wide, was just like, I didn't know what celebration I should do. I just put my hands up and just put them out there. And then everybody was like, 5-5, 5-5. And they started chanting. And he was like, oh, 5-5. And it's like, and now that's what I do when I get a sack. It's just 5-5.
That was my favorite number growing up, 55. And not because there was any sports star. There was nothing behind it. It was literally because, to me, 5 was the coolest number because I like symmetry, and it was right in the middle of 0 and 10. And, you double it up, you get 55. Yeah, my aunt got me a shirt from Myrtle Beach when I was like 5 that I wore until I was like 10, and just my mom threw it away because I outgrew it. But, yep, 55 is the best number. I'm going to be rooting for him.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but it's just close to the very middle, because the very middle is between 5 and 6, 5.5. But that is 5-5.
No, between 0 and 10.
Well, I mean, yeah, between 0 and 10, 5.5 is the middle.
All right.
That is the middle.
All right.
Chat, can I get some help here? It's math. But yeah, so I thought that was really cool. There's a lot of people crapping on this pick.
5. 5's right in the middle. Sorry, buddy.
0 doesn't count, bro. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 5. So in the middle, it's 5.5.
Between 1 and 10, yeah, but I liked it because it was between 0 and 10. And it
Zero's-
was my
zero's not a
childhood.
number.
And that's the reason I chose 5. It is.
Well,
it's in
it
10.
would've-
What do you
it
mean
would-
it's not a real number?
It would
it's in
have
10.
made a lot more sense if you just said, and 5.5 is 55. Bada bing, bada boom. But you missed that
We actually
opportunity,
have-
my friend.
We actually have 55 viewers right now, which is really awesome.
Yeah, that's weird, but it's cool. It's cool. And thank you guys for coming in. I was trying not to acknowledge it so it wouldn't go away. So yeah, Omar, a lot of people dig on this guy because he didn't start a ton of snaps, but he was with a program that didn't start any of their guys. He was like the 3rd or 4th most snaps on the team on the defensive line, and he led college in his actual pressure percentage. See, the lisp came out again. So I mean, this guy could be an absolute beast. We just don't know if he could play a full game. But if this guy could play a full game and they can, you know, they didn't put him in on rushing downs. We don't know if he can stop the rush. But if he can, this guy might be the next freaking star, dude. This might be the best pick we made the draft if he could play a lot and can be successful against the run.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to, is being successful against the run. I don't know if I foresee this guy being the long-term answer right away. I mean, it's definitely a possibility that maybe halfway through the season he starts to get, comfortable and good in that line, but I don't think he's first round talent that's going to come in and start on day one. But
Yeah, I don't.
he's definitely got a good ceiling.
I think with the people that are in front of him, I think he definitely has a chance to start day one. But like I'm saying, I have to see what he could do against the run, because in college he just wasn't used against the run. So I just don't know. I have no clue. And I don't know how easily he'll be coached. It might be a year or two before he actually can come in and do something. But what I do know is when they put him in, he's probably going to get pressure on the quarterback quite a bit.
Well, I'll tell you what I learned from last season, watching the preseason, every single second of it for the first time, is that I don't really trust what I'm seeing during the preseason. Andy Reid does not run preseason like a game. It's just a practice. It's a little bit faster pace than what they're doing on the practice field, but it's definitely not NFL pace for regular season games. You're not going against first round talent. You're not playing with, starter talent all the time. So I just don't trust what I see on the field during the preseason. So when you say we got to see what he's going to do, I won't trust anything that I see during preseason. I would say that their ability to evaluate him during their practice and training sessions is going to be much more valuable than anything that we see during a preseason game with him on the field. So whether he has success or he fails during the preseason does not deter me. I have to see something in the regular season.
Oh, I am with you there. I mean, you and I got, we freaking got dove in hard on the preseason games, and we never watched anything but the third game when there was 4 games, right?
I would have it on, but I
watched,
wasn't watching.
yeah, like wasn't watching it, wasn't really, caring, but yeah,
Right.
The like, I'm gonna need to see something in the regular season. That I'm just saying, if he does have a motor and he can be effective against the run, I mean, this is the guy that's going to take over for Chris Jones and maybe be better. But that's with those two big ifs. Those two big ifs are right
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah, let's not forget how high up on Carson Steele we were after the preseason.
I was just about to bring that up. Like, we looked at Carson Steele, we're like,
We were
oh my
like,
God,
this
dude,
is the
we have a
next-
new starting running back,
Yep.
and we were tricked by the preseason.
I thought he was going to be like like a mini Marshawn Lynch, instead of Skittles, maybe M&Ms, peanut M&Ms or something. But yeah, that
Oh no,
backfired.
oh no,
Just
he'd be
as many
alligator
bad
bites.
takes. Just as many bad takes. We say it right up front.
Yep. I mean, hey, and it's a learning process. I mean, you're probably not going to be able to trust what we say until we get at least
Into the regular season.
3 or 4 more, pre-seasons to really judge how we should judge that type of deal. But do you know anything about this? What HD Chiefs fans saying in chat?
Do you think that the Chiefs lift the ban on the 0 jersey number this year? And I
didn't
hope
know that
so,
was a
because
thing. What is that a thing for?
We're going to bring this argument up again if they do. So,
Yeah,
but it's just the Chiefs. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. It's news.
Yeah,
to
I don't
me.
know anything about this
But
either.
Are you trolling us, or are you being serious? Trivia time, gentlemen. HD Chiefs fan says, trivia time, gentlemen. Do you know one unique thing about the Chiefs uniform that is different than any other team during the regular season? Is it the 0 on the jersey? That's my guess. You probably
I
shouldn't
mean,
have led with that if that's the answer, but
we haven't done the matte paint job on the helmets, which I would love to see.
yeah, but we're definitely not the only team that's not doing that.
We're for sure not.
A lot of teams would have a cool helmet.
But yeah,
if
I
they wanted
don't
that.
know the answer to this question. We have it. Oh, I think it is like a patch or something that we have
No,
honoring somebody.
lots of teams that have patches honoring people. So like,
Well, this would be a unique patch. I mean,
yeah, definitely a unique patch, but I don't think it's a patch.
yep.
Is
I
it
don't know. Chiefs.
can't be are we the only team that always wears white pants? No, we wear red pants sometimes.
We have worn red in the Andrew Reid era. It's my favorite uniform.
Yeah, it's cool. I'd love to see yellow. I did that in Madden. He said definitely not trolling.
Oh, we
Good.
keep putting it
Yeah.
on at the same time.
Definitely not trolling. Chiefs do not allow anyone to wear 0. I wonder why that is. The answer is that no player wears the C for captain. Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. But we have captains. They just don't
They just don't wear.
advertise.
Well, I do know. Don't we change the captains
Maybe that's what it is.
weekly,
'Cause
whereas
they
other
send
people
different
don't?
guys out for the coin toss.
Yeah, we change captains weekly, whereas other teams don't. I don't think.
Wow.
I think
Good
that's
question, man. Good question.
yeah. Good question.
Great trivia.
Let us know in the comments if you knew the answer.
CO, the captain is worn in the playoffs. Okay. Thank you again, HG Chiefs fan.
Interesting. All right,
Wow.
well, let's talk about my boy.
My boy.
Noel Williams. Ooh, ball hawk from Cal. Oh, I am excited about this 3rd round pick, my friend. And
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
hard not
how
to
he
be.
fell to 3rd round. I mean, this guy led the college nation in interceptions. I mean, I'm
I'm
excited about
super
this guy.
excited about him too. He so one of the knocks on him is his long way speed. So he kind of loses speed down the field. But if he's playing a lot of slot, I don't see that being too much of an issue.
He's not playing slot.
Oh, he's not.
Mick Duffy's playing slot.
Well, he can't play every single down.
This guy is coming to his quarter too. Under Fulton or quarter X or quarter Y, if you want to call it that.
A lot earlier.
Outside quarter.
We're going to get to see really early on what we have here because they're going to throw the ball his way if he's going to be starting outside corner for sure.
I think he does. I think he takes over Watson by at least week 4. Definitely. Okay, you talk about his speed, right?
Yeah.
But you know what he is the fastest at, or at least what he was the fastest at in combine history?
Nope.
Running backwards.
That's a thing?
Yeah, because the outside corners run backwards for a good amount of the start of the play.
I've just never heard any analyst, broadcaster, anybody professionally ever go, that guy runs a 7.37 backwards sprint.
I haven't either. And I don't even know what it's called, but doing all the research, I found this out. Dude can run backwards like you wouldn't freaking believe.
For cornerback, they actually need that ability.
Yeah, it's huge.
So,
especially for outside corner, like side to side, that's in the middle.
Maybe he'll just do that. Maybe he'll just run backwards. And that'll be his edge. Nobody can figure it out.
That's a cool stat though. Like best in combine history. I forget what the drill's called, but it's basically when you see a corner start on the especially on the outside, they're always running backwards, watching the receiver try to see when they're going to make their break.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is huge for receivers that might have a whole lot of, might be stretching the field because he could, back up for a lot longer without having to turn around than other corners. Now, you want to know the other thing that makes him very special?
What's that?
So, all right. So, he was personally coached at rookie minicamp by a young, well, not, I guess he's not that young, but a famous defensive coordinator named Steve Spagnuolo, one-on-one coached. And Steve makes corners. It's one
Yeah.
of it is one of his best skills, from what I understand. I'm doing a lot of research here. Spent a lot of time
Well, we've seen it on the
researching.
field. I mean, they
Yeah,
get
but I
rid of
didn't know that
the
his
talent,
specialty
and
was that, right? Like I knew Andy Reid's specialty was quarterbacks and tight ends. I didn't know that Spagnolo's specialty, like the thing that he does best, I guess, is developing cornerbacks. And he was working with Noel one-on-one for a lot of rookie minicamp. That tells me they really like this guy.
yeah. I mean, if they're working one-on-one, Andy Reid is taking his time. I mean, he even said it in that presser. You know, a lot of these UDFAs are going to come in here and not get noticed, and that's the only thing they're trying to do. And Andy Reid took his time not only to notice this kid, but spend time with him one-on-one. My guess is he learned a lot, not just about what he can do on the field, though, but who he is, you know, off the field. And I think that's important to Andy Reid. I really do.
Yeah, I think HD Chiefs fan, I'll just give it to him because he said it in chat before I got a chance to say it. But this was another thing I was gonna bring up if you want to read it.
Yeah, Williams' vertical on the run is amazing as well. So HD Chiefs fan looks for him to win 50-50 balls a lot. I hope so. I mean, I hope so.
Ball
That
hawk.
that's kind of been the one thing that's really been missing is picks. I mean, I know we've had picks, but
Yeah,
I
like,
mean,
but we haven't had a ball hawk
no.
since Marcus Peters. So
Mm,
I
wasn't
mean, ball hawk. I haven't seen a ball
wasn't
hawk
the
since Marcus Peters.
wasn't the Badger a ball hawk?
I mean, he was a pretty good ball hawk, but I don't think he was a Marcus Peters. Like
Yeah,
he
well,
was a
Marcus Peters,
safety, you know,
there
ball
weren't
hawking.
Marcus Peters in his day though was
Led the NFL in interceptions.
one of the
That's what I'm
best.
looking for from Noel. That's
Yeah,
what I'm looking for.
yeah, that's a big ask,
I
bro.
can have
That's a
high
lot.
hopes for a living.
Yeah, then you do. You have that
I'm
is your
excited
occupation
about
right
this
now.
guy. I'm excited about this guy. I'm so excited. Noel Williams. I mean, yeah, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited. But let's talk about the last guy that shined here in the
Okay,
rookie minicamp.
Brashard Smith, running back out of SMU. He was picked in the 7th round, number 248. So really, really close to that Mr. Irrelevant. But he adds speed behind Isaiah Pacheco. I yeah. So Smith spoke to the media on May 4th. He is excited for his role as a 7th rounder. I would be excited for any role in the NFL as well.
Wait, do you
But
know he was projected at like 148?
no, I didn't know that. But I
Hold on,
know that
hold
he
on.
didn't go 148.
No, and I don't know how he slipped. Draft Pro, like he was
Still,
one of the ones that brought our what's it called up?
so
Our
148 would have been
rank.
what, 5th round, maybe late 4th round.
Hold on,
I
I'm
wasn't
making sure I'm right.
I wasn't interested in that running back either. Whatever running back was left at late 4th, early 5th round.
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah, he was projected overall 136, and we
I
got him
am
at 248.
right, 248. Look, I'm more excited about him today than I was the day that we drafted him. I have a ton of faith in Brett Veach and the way that he drafts his players. I said it earlier. I mean, he's off the graph as far as hits over misses as compared to the rest of the NFL. So in Brett Veach, I mostly trust. I
Yeah,
just,
I was not
I mean,
excited about this guy either
in my
initially.
opinion, 7th round running back Isaiah Pacheco is one of the best. Is what you're going to get in the 7th round. and he's the ceiling of what you're going to get in the 7th round
For a running back,
for a
though.
running back. Yes, for a running
But
back.
this isn't just
Obviously,
a running back.
oh, you're just going to hang that out there and then just let it float.
Oh,
And
well,
just,
I thought you do. I mean, this is a converted wide receiver from what he was at Miami, I
yeah,
think.
but he's not a slash wide receiver. We're not talking
No,
about.
no, he
he's
was a
not-
wide receiver until his last year in college when he went to like basically when he went to SMU, the 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 coach was like, "Hey, you should switch to a running back." And so he was a pretty good. I think he was at Miami. Chat can tell me if I'm wrong, but he was at Miami as a wide receiver, transferred to SMU, and basically turned into a running back. So this running back can run routes, can catch the freaking ball. Like, this is no Isaiah Pacheco. This is a guy that can catch the ball. Like, this is a crazy good grab if
So he's
he can
Samaje
hold up.
Perine.
No, not much smaller
Well, I mean, his
and
role on the
faster, a
team.
lot
That's
faster.
all right.
But yeah,
I mean,
maybe his role in long third downs or something like that. If he's good enough to have that role, we'll have to see what happens with Elijah Moore.
yeah, I'm
but-
just saying, like, as far as the draft went, I'm like I said, I'm getting more and more excited. McKinnon 2.0, HD Chiefs fan says. That's what he. I mean, that's what he looks like. We talked about that on draft day. Actually, I was like, this guy looks like McKinnon. But
I think he looks
Andy
like
said he runs a
Brian
little different.
Westbrook. Like, I think he looks like Brian Westbrook, and Andy created these types of backs.
I think Brian Westbrook was bigger though. This guy's
I don't-
smaller, isn't he?
I don't know if Brian, I'm not sure, but I
But
just
anyway.
mean in like style, but I don't know.
Maybe Andy can get.
Westbrook was not big.
Maybe Andy can get a ton out of him, and that's great. I'm just saying, is Isaiah Pacheco as being the ceiling of what you can expect from the 7th round? Is that what I was wanting out of this draft? No. What are they like within an inch and within 5 pounds?
The freaking dude. I am on fire, dude.
Hey, look,
I looked at him and thought, dude, this guy reminds me of Brian Westbrook. Brian was 5'10". Smith is 5'10". Brian in the NFL was 203. Smith is 194. Probably will add 10 pounds. This is our Brian Westbrook, dude.
okay, but here's the one thing that you can't measure is what's between the fingers right now.
Yep.
So that's what's going to matter when it comes to this guy or this kid becoming who he could be in the NFL. So size-wise, body-wise, he looks like Brian Westbrook. Can he be coachable to a point that he can achieve that level? I mean, if if we can look back and say that we got Brian Westbrook in the 7th round, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to even allow myself to dream that dream right now.
Yep. Same,
Because I don't
same.
want to be let down for a half a second. So in my eyes, we're getting 90% of Isaiah Pacheco, which is cool. I mean, Isaiah
And
Pacheco's getting older,
I think he's a
guess.
completely different guy than Pacheco.
I just mean production on the field.
Maybe, but Pacheco didn't catch. I mean, that was the big knock on him, you know. So this guy, so he started, played high school as running back. So the transition wasn't horrible for him, in college. Like, this guy could have been the steal of the draft. And you know me, I was wanting a badass running back, and this is not it.
No.
And Brian Westbrook wasn't that, especially his rookie year.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you mean out of college. Okay, I was going to say
But he
was pretty badass.
Yeah, but he was a badass in the passing game, the screen game. I mean, I think this guy has, and everybody's compared him to, what's his name?
McKinnon?
God, what? Tyreek Hill.
Oh, Tyreek Hill.
But I don't think he's like Tyreek at all. I think he's like Brian Westbrook, and I think this dude's going to be possibly a stud. Like, I've looked at his highlights. It's absolutely nuts. But it is college. You
We'll
know,
see.
so
I can't wait to see him in preseason and blow our minds and make us think that he is the next Tyreek Hill or Brian Westbrook. So
the
I
hype
just
train, choo
yeah,
choo.
I'm just gonna be so reluctant to hop on that train. I really will be because I
Yep,
just was like, "Hey, I'll take a ticket, free ticket. Hell yeah, let's go, Carson Steele."
yep.
Eh,
All right.
Not that he sucked, but
Well,
he wouldn't.
this yeah, he sucked to this fact that he dropped the ball
Mhm.
2 times in a
In 3
row. Like,
games. In 3 games, yeah.
ugh, Carson, you had your chance, man.
Mhm.
But yeah, so yeah, there were some underdog stories. We're kind of running long. I don't know that we really need to talk about that, but Casey, Jared Casey, tight end from Kansas, former KU walk-on, great story if he were to make the
NFL
thing, but
walk on.
he's not going to make the he's he's not going to make the team. Um, but Melvin Smith Jr. did impress people. Cornerback from Southern Arkansas. He was a UDFA standout. Uh, he did have 5 interceptions, but he played at a Division II school, so it's kind of hard to see if that'll translate to the NFL. But maybe it will. Maybe it was just off the field issues that kept him from Division I. Who freaking
Yeah, we
knows?
we actually tried to look that up one time, like how many we know it's 1% of college players make it to the NFL, but we wanted to know how many Division 1 because we're pretty
Yep.
sure it's, it's definitely a majority of Division 1 players are making it and much less in Division 2. So yeah, I agree. We'll have to see, but I don't expect to see him after training camp.
Yep. And then Keyshawn Smith, another SMU. Well, this is a wide receiver from SMU, not a running back like Smith, but he's another transfer from Miami.
Mhm.
You know, a little bit bigger. He did have 527 yards and 33 receptions and 5 TDs in 2024. So, I mean, he could, that could be somebody who makes the practice squad and everything. But honestly, like what I learned about rookie minicamp is, first off, they're not wearing pads and they're not defended while making catches and stuff. These guys are gonna look good. Justin Ross has been making crazy catches in minicamp for the last feels like 5 years, but it's only been like 3 or 4 maybe. But like, he's making crazy catches, but he ain't making the roster because he's not making those catches with pads on. And yeah, so it's a big thing. But what I learned the most is rookie minicamp is all about gassing up your freaking draft picks, because Ashton Gillotti and Omar Norman-Lott literally made these kids look dumb from what I understand in 7-on-7. The reporters can talk about 7-on-7, but they can't record it. But from what I understand, they were just getting to the quarterback immediately. And that's this is just basically a gas up for the rookies coming in, gassing them up before they get beat down by the vets when the vets come in for for the
Give him a little bit of confidence.
for the what's it called, the not mandatory practices, but
Oh,
the
OTAs.
yeah. So when the OTAs come in, that's when the rookies, get a little welcome to the NFL moments, but like this is basically to gas up and just give the coaches a possibility of finding a diamond in the rough, which
Mhm.
is a very low chance
Yep.
from what I understand.
Mhm.
But remember, guys, I'm new to this. I'm doing a lot of research. That doesn't mean I'm researching in the right spots. Guys, give me links. Let me know what I'm wrong about. Like, I'd love to hear it because we're new to this and we're just continuing to learn, and we'd love to learn with you, alongside you. And That's what we're about. We're not trying to say we know everything. These are opinions.
I know I have a lot of
be right.
opinions.
Mine happen to be right a lot, though.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. One other thing, one other side note about Jalen Royals. Can we just give this guy some credit here? Since he was drafted, the Kansas City Royals are now 7-2. Thank you. Thank you, Jalen Royals. They missed the mark when they
funny.
didn't give him 85. They really did.
All right, well, we gotta go ahead and end this out. So, man, I'm excited for the future. We're gonna do our too soon 53-man roster next week, and we'll see you guys later.
That's too soon.
Oh, wait, no. Hey, new merch at buckandbob.com, BUKNBOB.com. We've got
Brand new website. Go
Yeah,
check it out. It's got videos, links, merchandise. I mean, you can leave comments. Our phone number should be on there if it's not. 816. Oh, I forgot it.
866.
866-1066.
Yep.
816-866-1066. You can also send texts, but leave us a voicemail. We'll play it. Just ask Jeremy.
All right, guys. Well, Buck, where can we find you?
You can always find me on Facebook. You can also find me on Twitter or X, whatever. It's at Buck_Tastic. That's BUK_TASTIK.
And you can find me on X at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. Thank you, everybody in chat, for hanging out. We're going to get out of here.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Nothing in the MJ?
Oh, yeah.